Hey, I'm on the floor of the 2017 AFP with Dave Allen from Bottomline Technology. We just finished a hot seat talking about SWIFT CSP, the Customer Security Program. But I wanted to ask the question to you because the Customer Security Program is really focused around the SWIFT network. But as we look at the activities of organizations, they oftentimes have numerous originating payment systems that require transactional data beyond SWIFT. How do we think about the control activities that go beyond just the SWIFT network?
Sure. No, it's a really good question. It's right at the heart of what we're focused on, what many organizations care about, what matters most to especially the banking industry, but certainly corporates as well. So think about the SWIFT network as a channel, one channel. In the banking segment, think about digital banking, their online banking environment as another channel. And then you look at another vector and you think about all the different payment types in which a consumer or commercial entity wants to be able to transact. So you've got these two vectors, multiple channels, and you've got multiple payment types. And we're referring to this as secure channels. And that is secure payments, and that is, it really doesn't matter what the payment type is or the channel itself. You need to have a cross-channel, cross-payment, or multi-payment capability and platform to get out from under two things. One is to make sure that there are no vulnerabilities associated with any way in which a fraudster can infiltrate an organization and commit fraud. That's one, that's an obvious. But the second is that these organizations are drowning with so many disparate tools that don't connect with one another, that don't talk to one another. And so if you can have a platform, a vendor that can provide capabilities in this cross-channel secure payment capability, that's the best case scenario itself. And that's what our organizations and customers are asking for.
Is that a single version of the truth or a single view to the truth?
Well, it's a very good question, and it depends on who you ask. But there's no one solution that is going to fit all. But certainly limiting the number of capabilities is what, or vendors and disparate siloed solutions is what our customers are looking for. An integrated platform that can protect themselves and their customers.
Yeah, so when you think about some historical fraud like check fraud, it was more along the lines of smash and grab. I get a copy of a check, I submit it, I steal a small sum of money. Now it seems to be much larger and more significant, much more embedded. I mean, criminals are patient, they're spending time inside a system learning what goes on. Does that change how companies should think about and react to and prepare for the defense they need to mount?
It does, and the criminals and the fraudsters are becoming, much more sophisticated, well organized, unfortunately well funded. And so, if you look back to the discussion on SWIFT, the fraudsters hijacked the credentials of someone who had access to the SWIFT architecture within this certain bank, but they trolled the environment for months and months, and that's the scary part, is that read-only activity before any type of money movement event would happen, and to go undetected, that's the scary part of it. And so, again, without lapsing into solutions and tools, having a layered defense system that can detect this read-only activity well before any type of money movement and fraudulent activity takes place, that again is what's most important.
Excellent. Thank you for your time, Dave, to talk about these issues and the SWIFT CSP framework. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Craig.
I'm here with Mike Vigue on the floor of the AFP conference. We just had a Fintech hot seat on the SWIFT CSP, where we spoke on the security surrounding the SWIFT network. But people have payments, other processes, information that they're using and controlling beyond just SWIFT. They might have bank portals, they might have payment hubs, they're connected in different ways. What are some of the challenges that people face controlling the entire focus and scope? How would you describe that?
A customer relationship exists in multiple places within the organization, particularly in the transaction. Let's take a look at the transactions they initiate. So if I am initiating ACH, wire, et cetera, international payments via SWIFT, et cetera. As a customer, I'm stored in my relationship with you lives in many different back office systems. So to really get a feel for my behavior within your organization, you need to look in a number of different places. So the best fraud solutions will look at the customer holistically in the way that they're interacting with the particular organization. So if I'm in 4 or 5 different back office systems within your application a day, either accessing it directly or with the transactions I initiate, the best solutions are going to look across those to get a feel for what my general behavior is. So that way they're in a better position to be able to identify any anomalous behavior or things that I'm doing that I wouldn't typically do. If I'm only looking at one point in time or one location, etc., my ability to identify you and how it is you interact with me is very, very limited. So the best applications need to be broad and looking across all mission critical applications.
So this might be, everybody talks about the single version of truth. This may be the single vision of the truth or that data, looking across these different data sets where the information is housed, payment information, activities.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it, think about when you go into work on a typical day, for example, from 8 to 5, you might interact with about 15 different applications within the organization. So if somebody said, what did you do today? If I'm only looking at one place, I only know one thing that you did. So it's the same thing when you're actually interacting either with a customer or with your own employees. If I really want to get a feel for the behavior of an individual within an organization, I need to look at the different places that they're touching. Now, I might not care about everything that you do, but at least I want to be looking at the places where you're touching my mission-critical applications.
Excellent point. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your time at the AFP Hot Seat and during this interview.
Thank you.
We're here at AFP 2017 in San Diego, and I'm talking with Chris Matthews of Orbit. I wanted to get some of your thoughts on how the conference is going so far, Chris.
It's been a really good conference for us. We've made a lot of new contacts. These venues are very important for a company that's kind of our boutique size to get our name out, let people know what we do, where we are, and how we can help them with their treasury needs.
Absolutely. I know we've seen a lot of traffic from corporate practitioners coming in and out, checking out different things. What are some of the common concerns that you're hearing from folks that they're coming here looking for answers to? They're
looking for a cost-effective way to get their bank data, their treasury operations automated, and that's the bottom line. It's efficient, cost-effective automation.
Makes sense. And from Orbit's perspective, what would be some advice that you might give to those corporates, a good first place to start when they're trying to find a solution to fit some of those needs?
Well, you really, there aren't a plethora of companies that offer this type of technology. There's the normal players. There's 5 or 6 out there that you hear of all the time. Take a look at them. They all have pros and cons. A lot of them do, everyone does some of the core things the same. Some, in Orbit's case, we offer the ability to customize, offer custom development for their needs to make sure they get the most efficient workflow available and do so at a very effective, competitive cost that competes with the out-of-the-box solutions.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Take care.